Hello, class. So the research topic that I decided to research for this class is about the leadership qualities of George Washington when he was in charge of the Continental Army. And so kind of an overview is I just really dug into what made him so successful as a general and as the leader of the army. And so I wanted to identify what were his biggest accomplishments in leading the Continental Army, and then moving forward into his first presidency. So my thesis statement for this topic was Washington's leadership had a large impact on the Continental Army staying together and eventually winning the Revolutionary War. Um, Washington knew how to inspire people and soldiers to work for him to the best of their ability. And Washington was a calming factor for the soldiers because they respected him greatly and trusted him with their lives. Washington never lost sight of his end goal, which was liberty and to form a true republic. And so I really think that Washington was the correct person to run the Continental Army. There were other great candidates that could have done a successful job, but I think that Washington really played the part. I mean, he was a good-looking, like tall, muscular man, and I think that looks like that are effective when you're leading an army. You don't want a short guy. I mean, I know Napoleon was a successful leader, but a lot of times you want a strong and good-looking man to lead your army, and that's encouraging for the soldiers who are fighting for you. And so, really, what I found was that Washington already had some previous experience in the battlefield, and so this really helped him when he was trying to train and lead the soldiers that we had in the Continental Army. Many of these soldiers were just your regular farmers, and they weren't meant to be in battle. They had never had training or anything, but because of Washington's previous experience, he was really able to train these guys and give them good tactics to be a powerhouse of an army in the British Army. And so one of the big things that Washington did was he was able to convince people to work for him. There were several times in the war when soldiers were ready to go home. They had worked past their contracts, and they wanted to go see their families. But Washington was able to convince them to stay because it was what was best for the nation and what was best for the army. And him being able to do that is really one of the most important aspects of Washington's leadership. He knew how to get people to really buy into what he was doing, and I think that is really one of the main reasons why the early colonies were able to pull off this underdog victory. So this is a very big aspect of why I think Washington was the right man for the job, and why they did not go wrong with choosing him. And so my paper continues to dig deeper into different aspects of what Washington did right. And then towards the end, I also go into some of my findings of things that he could have done better. Obviously, hindsight is always 20/20, but I really think that Washington was a great leader, and we can learn a lot from what he did back then and apply it to our lives now.